trying to get it back to, of course, we talk about estate planning, elder law, real estate, and business law. And, one of the biggest, what the biggest problem is with this stuff? The thing that causes more dysfunction, or I guess it's the dysfunction that causes the bad consequences, right? That's really the way I think about it. The thing that really makes things the most difficult, right? The most difficult thing is that, especially with dementia, it's so stigmatized, right? Well, which it is. I mean, who isn't concerned about it, right? And you got to wonder, especially as you get older. But the degree to which folks deny it, you know what I mean? So when you have a teachable moment, like a public figure who's obviously suffering, I mean, come on, obviously suffering from lack of mental acuity, uh, inability to rationalize, forgetfulness, all the rest of the stuff, then, and especially, and there's some people, I guess, who kind of have been fabulists, you know what I mean, who over the course of their career, who adopted, like, even foreign dignitaries' life story as their own, pretended it was theirs, and who've lived a life where they said, "Oh, I went through this law school on a scholarship, and I was number one in the class, and in fact, they were the bottom of the class and had no scholarship." I mean, that happens, I mean, there are people like that. There are people who their family gets killed in a horrific car accident, and it's not good enough that they get killed in a car accident. Uh, they have to make up stories about it being a drunk driver, which the guy who was involved in the accident wasn't drunk, and he was a driver, he was a truck driver. But if you had to make stuff, think about it. Think about it. Think about if the most fundamental things in your life, right? You told stories about them that were not true. Think about how much you would have to remember, right? Just so that you lied consistently. Think about that. Hmm? Like for me, I don't have any problem telling you that what my military career was and what wasn't. I mean, I wasn't on the front lines. I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't the tip of the spear. No, I was a JAG officer, I was an Army captain, all that. Yeah, that's true. You can look it up. There's documents for it. Did I have a top secret clearance? Yeah, I did. You can look it up. But let's say I wasn't telling the truth, or put it in your own context, right? Let's say that, you were claiming that all kinds of things happened that didn't happen, right? Well, how long could you remember all the stuff that you were supposed to be saying because you didn't really, and then if you tell a lie long enough, right? Then maybe you start to get confused about whether or not it's the truth at all. What is the truth? Well, you don't know. Thank goodness you had some classified documents you could go back to and reestablish what the truth was. I guess I don't know, but the thing is, it's difficult. And then when you have an opportunity to say, "Hey, yeah, I got the dementia," it's pretty tough. Or the people around you, can say, "Hey, here's what's really going on." We're in a Are we not? Are we not when it comes to dementia? I'm just talking dementia in general. I'm not talking politics. I don't want to get into the whole political arena. No, thank you. Keep me out of that. Mm-mm. The laws, that's my deal. And human nature, I think, is really important part of this, right? The emperor has no clothes, right? That everybody remembers that fairy tale, right? About the guy who parades around naked and everyone says, "Oh, look at how wonderful everything is." And finally the little boy says, I suppose we can't say, and now we have to say the small child, because you don't want to be sizist either, the child, which is sort of ageist. But anyway, the idea is somebody says finally, "Hey, the emperor has no clothes on." Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, well, I didn't think they did. Why did you say they did?" Well, because I thought you thought, because I thought it would be stupid if I didn't see the emperor's new clothes. Anyway, so often, and we have political figures now whose decline is, and it's not just the president, there's senators out there too, having a very difficult time holding it together. Okay, fine. So, I mean, that's real. You can see that. And to the extent that people try to tell you, you know, who you're going to believe, your own eyes or what I'm telling you. They want us to believe what they're telling us. And it's like you actually can have some confidence in what you actually see. And that's on the big stage and whatever. But think about it in your own life, right? As I say, a huge problem with aging and all that is that people are unwilling, right? People themselves are unwilling to admit it, and the people around us, right, facilitate the fantasy, facilitate the denial. All right. If you're wondering how could 330 million Americans, right, not see what the hell is going on? How could you not see it? Well, you can only see it by not number one, you don't want to see it. You don't want to admit it, which makes perfect sense to me. I get that. But forget about the big, as I say, think about in your own family. All right. There are people right now listening to the sound of my voice who are going through this in your own family. Yeah, it was just this. Yeah, it was just that. Listen, everybody who gets a dementia diagnosis, when they finally get it, they look back 3 or 4 years and they say, yeah, we could see that one coming. We could see it coming. We knew that was what was going on, but nobody wanted to admit it. Well, admit it, okay? Try to take this as a this national thing we're going through, right? Try to take that as a uh, as a challenge, a personal challenge, and an encouragement to you, and your family, right? To see what you see, to acknowledge that you're seeing it, that what you're seeing is the truth, is accurate about your own family members, right? And maybe for the family members, if you can appreciate that, maybe you can appreciate some other things. If you can see the example in the outside world. And very recently, not only have we seen political figures this happening too, but as we were saying last week, we've got the Jay Leno's wife Mavis is going through the same thing. How long did it have to take before they finally went to probate court? And you know why they're going to probate court? To avoid probate. They're going to probate court now to avoid probate later on, to create the trust that we talk about all the time, to create those trusts in order to avoid probate when she passes. And the problem is that they let it go for so long that she's not able to sign those documents. So now they got to get court permission to sign the documents on her behalf. That's okay. How long did it take? How much denial was going on? I don't know. I don't know the personal circumstances. Okay. But when something like this is happening, that's where you have to really look at yourself, your own family situation. Trust your eyes, trust your judgment. That's all I'm saying.